This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have not one but two Beelzemon hybrid deck lists. They're not very different from each other, but I did want to have like two kind of builds that I've been knocking around, and I've been really enjoying this archetype. If I was doing any tournaments in the EX2 meta, this would probably be the list or the deck that I would be playing at least first with, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Though I will say EX2 did sneak up with me in the fact that we get BT9 in less than a month now, so we don't have like a whole lot of EX2 only meta, but I have been enjoying it. These might not be the exact ratios I would consider down the line. I still have some playtesting to do and stuff, but I think this is a good shell for kind of what the archetype's doing in the at least the hybrid variant, and I think it's very, very strong. So we have this list and we have the other one, but first we're just going to go over the cards that are new in case you guys aren't aware of the EX2. So we have this Impmon. When this card's trashed from your deck, if it wasn't trashed by its essential own effect, you can trash top 3 cards of your deck, and then also on play reveal top 4, add a Digimon card with Beelzemon in its name and one AI and Mako or IE and Mako tamer among them to your hand, and then place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this pretty much either searches the pieces we need, but just the fact that it just continues your mill effects is fantastic, and it's a rookie and its name is Impmon. There are a lot of good things with this guy, and it's very, very strong. So I highly recommend this guy for pretty much all builds. And also your turn, if this Digimon has Beelzemon in its name, it gets plus 3k DP, which is amazing. So I really like this. He's pretty much a staple rookie in the archetype, and he's fantastic. We do also have the new level 6 Beelzemon. When this card is trashed from your deck, you can play one Impmon from your trash without paying its memory cost, which is already pretty good. You also get to use the on-play effects of cards you play. So if you play this Impmon from it, you do get to do the top 4 to look for your cards. And then also when digivolving or when attacking, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. And then for every 10 cards in your trash, you can add 1 to the maximum level you can choose with this. So if you have 10 cards in your trash, you can delete a level 4. If you have 20, you can delete a level 5. And if you have 30, you can delete a level 6. So 30 is quite the ask for that kind of guy. But he's really strong, especially since he's a Beelzemon that you can digivolve into for only 3, and he's again a staple. But just being able to play the Impmons from trash, so for example, let's say you can hit this Impmon and then use its effect to mill 3, and then you hit this guy, and then you can play this Impmon from it. So it's some nice quick value. Obviously it's RNG based, so that's a little bit of the kind of the deck, since you don't have a lot of good ways to kind of set up the top cards of your deck. I still think it's a really good thing, and when it works, you feel really, really good. And then we also do have the big boy, daddy boy Beelzemon blast mode. So when this card is trashed from your deck, you delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, which is quite nice. And then when digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So if there's ties, you do get to delete them. You do not get to delete any of the D Reaper stuff because it doesn't have a level. So even if no level is not the highest level, so you do have to be careful of that. But also your turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, this Digimon gets security attack +1, which is pretty good, especially since you are able to kind of cheat into this guy on a swing, because we do have our IE and Mako. Start your turn, it's a 3 tamer, so you get to set your memory to 3. And your turn, when you attack with a Digimon, you can suspend this Digimon to trash the top card of your deck. And then if the attacking Digimon is Beelzemon, you may digivolve it into a Beelzemon blast mode in your trash for a devolution cost of 3. So 2 good effects, 3 essentially. Being able to trash the card off your top of your deck can be helpful. And then if the attacking Digimon's Beelzemon, being able to go into digivolve to blast mode for 3 from your trash too is fantastic. Just means you don't even have to have it in your hand. You can just trash it early and then go into it later, which means that if you go to this guy, you swing, you can use it when attacking if you need to trash top 2 cards of your deck, and then you can also go into here, which helps build your trash. And then it's very, very common. This is a 15k that swings for 3 checks pretty easily, because again, it is on when attacking. Yeah, your turn, when you attack with a Digimon, you can do this. So it's very, very helpful. The last card we're going to talk about, I don't have it in my build because we just honestly don't have enough room, but it can be good if you're not playing the hybrid version of this deck, is when this card is trashed from your deck, you get to gain 1 memory. Who does not like an extra memory every once in a while? And also may delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon for every 10 cards you add 1 maximum. So it's like a slightly better version of this card effect, where but it starts at level 4. So with 20 cards, you can delete a level 6 for only 4, and that's incredibly powerful. So going back to our first build of the day, so the idea and why we're doing hybrid is because we already kind of want this IE and Mako It's so good for not only setting our memory, and really purple was missing a really good memory tamer in a lot of ways. The only one, other one we really had was Matt, and Matt was fine, but you never wanted to play it turn one because you always felt like you were losing value. This gains a lot of value throughout the game, and being able to just cheat into your blast mode is fantastic, especially since there are ways to, go into this Beelzemon late game. So this is the secret rare from set 2, and then being able to just go into this for 4, and it's not incredibly difficult to keep your turn on 4, go into this, delete something, swing, and then you use your tamer effect to go there. That's usually pretty easy to do, and as well as being able to do the hybrids effects too. So being able to just go up into your chain fast is what you want to do. Koichi is fantastic as well because you get to cycle more cards, put some cards in your trash that you want to. And I do like the Laoimon, Kaiser Leomon, and Ryumon in just its regards. Kaiser Leomon being able to get the retaliation with its effect as long as you're on top of a Koichi is good. And then we also have Raimon, which not only can you digivolve into one, but if you do, if it gets deleted somehow, rather on purpose with your calling for darkness or whatever, you're able to just use its effect to play a tamer from your drop area. Additionally, Koichi, when it gets deleted, you get to gain a memory too. So I think being able to play tamers for free really helps this guy out. And we are running the Sora and Mimi. We're only running one in this build, but I think this is a fantastic card, especially in a Mother D Reaper effect. Since they don't have levels, if you're playing against that deck, this almost always gets you an additional 2 memory every single turn. So I think this is pretty invaluable, especially since you can play it essentially for free after swinging with a Raimon if it dies or whatever. Being able to pop this and get the value from it, and then even just digivolving into this, swing into it. If it lives in security, you can pop it with Calling for Darkness. You get a Mimi back. You also get a memory back from Koichi, so the Calling for Darkness was free anyways. And I think that's a really, really good deal. But also just being able to set up your Ai and Mako for doing stuff you're already doing, I think is strong. And it just really kind of, the fact that like by turn 2 or 3, you have like 10 cards in your trash already, and you have a lot of effects that play from them, right? Calling from Darkness lets you find cards in your trash and add them to your hand. Raimon lets you, play a tamer from your trash. I think that's very, very good. We also do have the Mist Memory Boost. I think he is good for this. So you trash top 2 cards of your deck to draw 1. So already it's kind of like a Koichi in a lot of ways because you're able to get the draw 1 with it. But you're also, it has delay to gain 2 memory, and then being able just to get that mill is good. You can hit this, and then it hits an Impmon, and then you're pretty much set for almost 10 cards in your trash already, and that feels kind of good. And I do like the idea of it. So he's been really strong for what we're doing, and just being able to extend your memory as well. I think this is like better than Jack Rate almost 9 times out of 10 now. It's such a really good card. So I like this guy, and it helps us out. And then last card we're going to talk about specifically is the Psychemon. And again, this is a great card for not only the matchup for Mother D Reaper, because it just means they can't reduce the cost of any of their cards. If this is out, they have to get rid of this guy. And again, you can bring this guy back pretty easy with your own Calling from Darkness and stuff. But also it's good in like Cherubimon has some cards that they have cost reductions to, and everything else. So I think he's a really good meta call for a lot of, like, this is one of the reasons that purple I think is on the map, just because it can run Psychemon. And I think you're going to see a lot of this annoying bugger. It's a 3k too, which means that you can swing over, like, I don't know why it's not a 2k, but it's 3k is fine by me. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to run this, even in decks that aren't running purple. I'm sure are going to try to put this guy in here just for the effect on D Reaper. So I think it's a good card. I think you're going to see a lot of this, and I think he's going to help you out. So that's just the idea of the deck. You can just go into the blast mode pretty easily. You do a little bit of chip damage with your hybrids and your rookies early game. You make a big blast mode swing. You have a bunch of tamers out, and if they don't have a way to get rid of your tamers, or you can go to 3 memory hybrid for game. We all love saying that. I think it's a very, very good deck, and has some, I think really good matchups and everything else. The second build I have is this Cherubimon build, and I think this is obviously a little bit more janky, but I do really like Cherubimon for what it does, and there are a lot of good things that it does for the deck. So some changes we're doing, we're only putting 3 of the Beelzemon. Also, I think 2 is the right number for blast mode. I'm putting 2 in both. I don't think 4 is needed. I think obviously getting to pop a level 4 is cool, but I don't think it's a make or break. You really only need to see 1 in your trash, and then you're good to go. But I can see running 3. I think 4 is too much in most cases. But if you have them, go for them. But I don't think Blast Mode is a hard 4 of. And I think 2 is okay if you're playing a deck that really, really likes to moat yourself out. But yeah, the idea about this deck and why I like to run Cherubimon with this is that Cherubi just lets you do a lot of fun things, and in general, it just sets you up your tamers, which means you can set up your Makos and everything else. And then if it dies, you can go into like an Impmon, and then you can use Impmon to go into Beelzemon. So I think that's good enough for what it is. Maybe it's a little bit janky, but it also has board clear. The fact that you can also Digivolve into this and you get to play a tamer from your trash anyways. So once again, we're running 2 Sora Mimis in this build because I think we're a little bit more tamer-centric for what we're doing. And we're also playing Bokomon because you can get a Bokomon off the Cherubimon, and that can just win you the game off the amount of tamer swings you get anyways. So I think that's worth it. And just being able to look top 5 for additional things and get the extra memory for it. So I think Boko makes sense in it, and that's just kind of the main idea. But I really did like Cherubimon in BT7. I know it wasn't always the best deck, but I think there could be some life for anyone who did like the Cherubimon list previously, and it can really help you out. So again, I think the biggest strengths from this deck too, because you'll see that we only run these Remons level 4s and nothing else. But if you really think about it, the Beelzemons and the Cherubimons don't, can Digivolve on top of it. But Calling from Darkness is really good at helping you find your additional pieces and getting your Remons back if you need them. And then Beelzemon, the secret rare, doesn't even Digivolve. You can just Digivolve on top of a rookie, and that's normally what you're doing most of the time anyway. So I think that's it's a good game plan. I really like what this deck does, and there's some really cool plays you can do with it. So let me know which of these 2 builds you guys like more. Obviously this one's more consistent, but if you like Cherubimon, definitely go for this one and let me know what you guys think about it. But I don't know, there's something just really strong about the idea where you can put a lot of cards in your deck, and then you have cards like Calling from Darkness and Remon where you can really find the pieces that you need and just kind of go from there. And especially Impmon lets you recycle them too, which this Impmon is great at this because you can just get back any of your Beelzemons that you need. So usually the level 6 one that goes on top of level 4, the secret rare. This one's usually better, but obviously it's more expensive, but late game he's fantastic and you always want to have at least one. So that is the deck there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, let me know which of these 2 builds you want to play the most, and that will be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.